So hi, we are live on YouTube. This is the Meetup Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum Meetup, crypto meetup in India, and we are going to talk about everything that is crypto. So my name is Vikram, and I'm the founder of the Indian first ever Bitcoin exchange, which is called UnoCoin, back in 2013. Now I have another startup in the name of InstaCrypto, also related to cryptocurrency. The reason I have two different is because the first one is a trading platform where it's a custodial exchange where we give wallets, we hold people's Bitcoin. In InstaCrypto, it is a little different. We do not hold people's Bitcoin. It's a non-custodial exchange. You send in INR, you get crypto, and you send crypto, you get INR. It's an instant exchange. We try and do as quickly as possible so that to its name as instant, we would like to keep that as instant as possible. So yeah, this is us, and this is me. And we also have somebody from Traders Carnival, Jaipur.
Hi, this is Dharmraj Anikram, DJ
Vikram. Dharmraj, how are you?
One sec, let me just get set up.
Sure. So yeah, guys, welcome. Hold on a second. I'm just going to jump into this Facebook. I think it's not going to give me.
Yeah, I am.
So I do have a lot of friends on Facebook who would love to join this event. So I usually post it. Yes, so we are on Facebook too. And like I was just saying that my name is Vikram. I'm one of the first exchange, entrepreneur to start an exchange in India in 2013. The first ever Bitcoin exchange in India was founded by me, following the InstaCrypto, of course, now. So there's a lot of things that about InstaCrypto to be able to find online. It's available as an app. It's an instant crypto exchange for you to buy and sell cryptocurrency with INR. The difference about my first exchange to InstaCrypto is that we do not hold the cryptocurrency in our InstaCrypto exchange. And I think hi Mandar, or DJ, your mic is on. Could you please put the mic off while we?
Oh, sure.
No problem. Perfect. Okay, so it's much more. Yeah. So yeah, the idea of InstaCrypto is so that people get to change from INR to crypto to INR instantly. Maybe because a lot of people do not understand how a trading platform works, so to get a little bit of cryptocurrency to learn to use as a payment system may not be suitable in terms of a trading platform. And also by giving your own crypto and you holding your own crypto, there's a lot of knowledge that you get and understanding about how crypto works. That's one of the essential part of it. So that's one of the reasons why we have it started. Anyway, we have a great lineup today in the meetup. Thanks everybody for joining. And yeah, we were just talking with Mandar about what the basics of Bitcoin blockchain is. Of course, Bitcoin blockchain is not the only blockchain which is really popular. There is Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash also. So a lot of things being built on the blockchain, which is getting traction. Now, the most popular thing that is built on blockchain is DeFi systems, decentralized financial system. Everything that a bank or a financial system in India or any other country, a banking system would give you, those kind of things are being made as a decentralized system on the Ethereum blockchain. To start with, of course, your lending and platform that's one of the biggest ones. People love to take a loan on it and then things like that. So that's made very nicely available on the DeFi exchange. Well, DeFi is popular for a lot of other things for trading because you're able to, put a crypto on a smart contract. And since there's nobody in between who are actually managing your lending or your exchange in a DeFi system, it makes it more secure because if you have a middleman, then you have to put your trust on the middleman. Here, you're putting the trust straight away on the blockchain. It's catching up very big in terms of Ethereum. If you have followed a little bit on on internet to see what's happening. So that's all the popular ones. Of course, before this, there were a couple of them which was really popular on the Ethereum blockchain, which was just explained to Mandar. There's two things. One of them was Clockit, and another one was called U-Proof. So U-Proof was trying to compete to get IP intellectual property rights on your blockchain for cheaper and instantly. So there was one joke on that one that I think I forgot to tell you. I should tell you that. So in the caption of YouTube below, it says patent pending. That's a joke actually. It's because if you see in a regular IP systems when you go and register, every time when you check, you get this message patent pending because it takes ages, months to year to get your patent agreed. That kind of message is shown here just so that you understand that it is instant on blockchain. But just to make a joke out of it, it says patent pending at all times when you open because it's never pending on the blockchain. You want it, you register it, and it's done. It's recorded. That time is stamped for you, and your idea or your document is time stamped to that particular time, and then you're the first one. Those are the small things and very popular things. That those are going to be really useful in the future. So yeah, that's me. I would love you guys to jump in. Whoever wants to go on first and introduce yourself. Want to talk about what you have been doing, what you'd like to know, and what you'd like to get out of this meetup. Guys, you may have to put off your mute if you are saying something. I'm not able to hear you. You may have to unmute your mic and then speak, or even there is a message board that you can put your message out if you have a question or anything that you want to discuss about. So on my Facebook also, I have some friends. Hi guys. I have some friends. Hi guys. Okay, so Wasim, you have your mic unmuted. Go on, Wasim.
Hi Vikram, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
My question, I just started it, so I was not there from the beginning.
Sure.
With regard to the blockchain transactions and all, like as per my experience, it's very difficult to find out how this thing exactly works. So, can you just a little bit elaborate on this? Will be great.
So I couldn't hear the question very clearly, but you did say that yes, you want to understand how transactions work on blockchain.
Yeah, and another thing, like for example, let's say identify the user who is transfer the amount. Is it possible that we can trace it out, or we can get the details of the user?
So
some of them. So wait.
Okay, there is. I can take that one step at a time. So I'll just explain you about that. I'm sorry, Wasim, you may have to put your mic on mute because it's echoing. Yeah, thank you. So one of the things is about the transaction on blockchain. The second part is knowing who you're sending it to and getting the data of the user. So your blockchain-based transactions are all recorded on the internet. So it is not anonymous; it's anonymous. So if you want to look up on some of these transactions, yes, there are block explorers available, and there are multi-layer of block explorers today. People have built more sophisticated ones where you're able to trace how many addresses it's been from the genesis of its mined coin till the user who's using it. So all that is available. You have to be little bit more techy in terms of understanding the blockchain. And there are people, I have met them on the meetups here. They're very smart in understanding these things, and they do have some things being built today to track transactions, to see if it is touched unknown or unwanted sites where you would not otherwise visit. Those are which is illegal. Also, is it touched or is it used? All those kind of things are people exploring. yes, you can track them. It all takes about like time depending on how like securely he's trying to use, or as it normally when you use it, it's like I said, it's not anonymous, it's anonymous. So it depends on how much knowledge you have to track it, and it's not very hard otherwise. Maybe now it feels harder only because it's new, but eventually once people understand how this works, there are some coins which are called anonymous coins. We do not promote that because there is nothing you want to hide, right? It's an open system. It's a network effect. In this network effect, if you want to participate, unless you want to do something bad, you don't want to hide anything. So for that reason, we promote also anonymous coins. Some of them are called Zcash and Monero, which are completely anonymous. They call it for now. It is anonymous. I don't know. I've not explored much into it. But yes, otherwise, this is how it's tracked. On about transactions on the blockchain itself, a transaction is you're sending some crypto from A to B. A is you who's holding some crypto in your wallet that is held on this address, which is a public address. With that address, you'll be able to check on the block explorer and see how much you have held on that. And then when you send it from that address to whichever address that you're sending it to, that's a transaction. So now when you send it, it actually gets filled in a block, and every 10 minutes, which is in the block, in the Bitcoin blockchain understanding, every 10 minutes, whoever does these transactions in that 10 minutes, say from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 3:10, from worldwide, anyone who does that will all sit in that block, and then eventually that block becomes one long hash. How does that happen? Is that every transaction merges with another transaction and becomes one long hash. And if you have 50 transactions totally in that block, all 50 will merge with one another and become 25, or 25 will then merge and become 12 or 13. 13 will merge and become 7, then 4, then 2, and remaining there will be just one hash. It's called Merkle root. So the Merkle root was invented in 1987, and this particular technology is also used by Satoshi to build Bitcoin protocol. So this Merkle root, what it does is it makes all the transactions into one small string of alphabets and numbers, which is also called as a hash, and that hash gets recorded on the block. So each transaction then can be reversed this Merkle root and checked which is which. The beauty of this Merkle root is that if you change any one transaction's one small amount of crypto that you sent, or one addresses one particular alphabet or a number, the whole Merkle root changes. So that's the kind of security that it has in terms of making transactions. So that's a typical blockchain transaction. And eventually, when a block is mined, means your mining computer is trying to find this hash. So this hash, if you think is a number lock, if you use a number lock of 3 digits, if you test the 3 digits to 000 to 999, any one will definitely open the lock. So you have to do 1,000 combinations to try and open the lock. When you add another digit, it becomes 10,000 combinations. So it becomes higher and higher with more combinations to it, more digits to it. So in terms of a blockchain, a block hash goes up to 50 and beyond. So the mining computer, all that is trying to do is unlock this block. Unlocking the block is because the characters are 50, it keeps coming up with random set of 50 words and numbers format, matches with this key. If it matches, then you unlock the block, and then you get to mine that, and you get the reward as hardware. That's one of the reasons why the hardwares have become so popular and so fast and so efficient today. They go up to some close to 1 million combinations per second checked and discarded. So because of the way that is so fast, you're able to find an answer within 10 minutes as an average of 10 minutes. And once that is found, that particular computer which finds that key gets to mine that block, means it records the ledger to all of the computer blocks. Every computer gets recorded, the ledger gets updated through this. And that particular computer which found the block key will also get the reward. So that's a typical transaction of blockchain. If there's anything that you want to understand specifically more, please go.
Thank you so much, Vikram. The information was tremendous. I have a couple more questions, if you don't mind.
Go on, please.
If you want me to come back later, that's fine, because might be other people also would have some questions.
So not a problem, Wasim. You can go on with your question. The reason I'm saying that is because a couple of more people are also looking forward to understanding the blockchain part of it itself. And then if you're asking the questions,
Okay.
probably you get the answer. They may also get the information.
Okay. Now, the other question is is it possible, like, if you share your phrases from the blockchain with someone, does it make possibilities that anyone can access your wallet?
Funds. Hack your funds or access your funds. You're talking about what part of it being exposed? There are two parts of it.
BTCs.
So in BTC also, when you get a wallet, you get two particular things, which is a private key and a public key. Your private key is your password, which is held on your phone wallet in terms of your pass key to the phone or those kind of things. The public key is what you would give to people to fund into your wallet. It's same as your bank account and a bank password. Your bank account number is something that you actually give to people so that they fund into your account. And your password is what allows you to access your funds and send your funds. That private personal password you do not publish to anybody. Of course, that's your personal that you hold it. And also there is another key to it, which is if you're downloading a decentralized non-custodial wallet, you get a seed phrase. The phrase means like you set of 12 words or for 18 or 24, depends on the higher the security, bigger the set. Those words have to be written down by you and keep it in a piece of paper. That helps you recover your funds if you lose your wallet and those kind of things. That also is a part of the private key. If you expose that to somebody, also they can withdraw your funds. So that's why people say, without anybody's notice, you write down and you keep it in your security. So that part of it is taken care. So in terms of the public key that you give, is of course can be used on the block explorer to view how much funds you have. So that there is a possibility. But then there are ways to overcome that. That means in your own wallet, you can have multiple public keys also, and each public key can hold small funds. And all that together, you may have 10 coins, but each address will hold one. So if you are giving one person to fund you one coin or whatever that he has to send you have to give them the address. When they look up that address in the block explorer, they may not be able to see all 10. They'll be able to see maybe just one, whatever that is held on that particular public key. So that way, if you give a bank account number to somebody, they cannot find out how much funds you have in that account, right? In an existing system of our banking, when you give your account number to somebody, nobody can tell how much you hold. You can only send to that. But in cryptocurrency, that is one possibility that you have on a block explorer. You'll be able to view what kind of funds people hold on that particular key. But there, of course, there are ways to overcome that and then use it. In the past, of course, a lot of people held lots of bitcoins on one particular key, public key, and then when we used to see that public key, they used to flaunt also with that, saying that you can check it out on the blockchain to see how much bitcoins I have, and you can see there would be thousands of them. But people have gone smarter now, and then now the value of Bitcoin has gone really high. These kind of things is not easily told by people, and they don't want to be exposing themselves to what is available. This brings me to something that I had read 10 years ago now I'm talking about. It's called PC Magazine back in the UK when I was living in England. I read this magazine in that. I'm not 100% sure if I read it in the magazine or another article, but there was one gentleman who was really smart about Bitcoin, and he had written that if you hold about 10 Bitcoins, is more than enough for the future. At that time, when 10 Bitcoins were thrown around for free to people and nobody would bother that amount of Bitcoin. Some people up to 10 Bitcoins were getting for free in 9 and 10 in a company called IBM, which we still have. The employees of IBM, one of them was smart one who understood this, and then he mined, used to get 50 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. So if you had the GPU at that time in 2009, you would mine more than a CPU guy. And those guys who mined like that were giving out free Bitcoins to their colleagues and people in their company, and nobody bothered to take it. And I have a friend who used to tell me that I did not bother to take it. Why did I take it? Because the understanding was so little and nobody would have ever imagined something like this will happen to Bitcoin. They didn't take it. In that scenario, if somebody writes that if you have 10 Bitcoins, it's good enough for the future, that means he has so much superior understanding. It's amazing to know. Anyway, that was just off the beat thing, but I hope you got the answer, Wasim, but go ahead if you still have any doubts.
True, correct. It happened with me also. But as you said, the information and the knowledge and awareness of this was not there. We have lost that opportunity. Anyways,
something I would please correct in between. You said we've lost the opportunity. No, you have not lost the opportunity. Some people call it the ship has sailed. No, it has not. That's what we think. Only because the way the price suddenly jumps in Bitcoin, people think, okay, this is end. No, this is not the end. This has been happening since 2011. 9 years ago, when the price of Bitcoin jumped from $1 to $30, and it fell back to 1.5. When it passed the $30 mark, people said, okay, this is the end of it. This will not go any beyond this price. We have lost the opportunity. But no, you have not lost the opportunity, right? In 2013, also, it jumped from some $200 to $1,200. In 2017, it jumped from Indian rupees. I will give you a sound more nicer to me. From 70,000 rupees in January, it went up to 15 lakh rupees. And when it touched 15 lakh rupees, also people said, yes, this is the end of it. It will not go any beyond this price, and you have missed it. So you understand now, in this month, it easily went up to, say, 19 lakh rupees. The idea now it is going 19 lakhs means the next year is the bull run year, 2021, and it is going to go more than a crore. So do you think you missed it? Absolutely not. Even this time, you should be getting onto it so that you understand what really Bitcoin is.
No, what I mean to say was like the time when it was free, we missed that opportunity.
True.
Like without installment, without any investment, we were supposed to get this big amount at this point of time after 10, 15 years. That's the opportunity what we missed.
Well, I would like to debate on that again. Is because the opportunities are different in that format. If you see, then people have to invest in time to learn about Bitcoin and more time. For that reason, why more time in the past is because there was nobody there to tell you about Bitcoin. When I was learning about it, all I did was online, and I was really looking forward to meeting one person at least who would say, "Yes, I've heard about Bitcoin, and I know about Bitcoin. Yes, I can have a talk with you about it." That opportunity I did not get till 2013 beginning. That makes you spend more time online to do your research. So, it was not really easy. It was hard then also because a lot of people like one clear example is a guy from UK held his 5,000 bitcoins on a hardware. He changed his hardware, stored the hardware. Later, when he moved the house, he threw the hardware, and then suddenly the price went up. So he went looking for the hardware. So obviously, he did not put in enough research to at least secure the 5,000 that he had. Why didn't he do that? Is because he got that 5,000 too easily and too cheap. So he didn't really put a serious value on it. So those kind of things happen. Yeah.
Is it, would it be all right to say that blockchain and therefore one of the use cases of blockchain, which is Bitcoin, is still a huge black box for a large number of Indians in terms of knowledge, in terms of the way they are ignorant about the entire concept? Because we had more than an hour conversation last week, and yes, I came away sort of educated, but I still think that it is just the tip of the iceberg.
Totally.
One example I was telling you about how brilliant I was way back in 2016 was this company, Unicoin, which you founded much earlier and sadly left. That company partnered with us and sponsored our event at Bangkok and Mumbai in 2016 and 17. And then they told me, they said, DJ, my name is DJ, They said, DJ, why don't you take 50% of the sponsorship amount in Indian fiat and 50% in Bitcoin? And I said, no, thank you. So that indicates the level of ignorance that even I had then, and to a large extent even now. Now I am much better informed than in 2016. But if I held on to that, Bitcoin was say something like $1,000, like 70,000 rupees, like you were talking about in 2016. It will have gone up probably around 20 today. It went up 25x. They touched 25,000 today, I think.
Totally right, totally. It is much more than that. I would say 70,000 was still high. I think it was around 30, 40 in the beginning of 16. So that if you see the jump, yeah. You're right. You're very right in terms of it is the tip of the iceberg in terms of knowledge and understanding and acceptance of cryptocurrency. A lot of people write bad about cryptocurrency only because I have to say this, but they write most of the times bad is because they don't hold it themselves and they think it is going to buy into it. And when they hear about the price, they think, oh, it's not for me. But the beauty of it is that you can buy for even 500 rupees worth of Bitcoin to understand. And the kind of X that you will see in Bitcoin's price going up, you will see the same thing in whatever that you invest in. If you invest in 500 rupees, you will see the same X of jump that will show, even with that small amount. That's one of the beauties of Bitcoin. When I learned about it in the beginning, that is highly dividend. It's like how each rupee holds 100 paise, each Bitcoin has 100 million satoshis. So you're able to break down to even 10 satoshis to small value, and then you can even hold, say, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 satoshis. Nowadays, 10,000 satoshis is easy for a fee to send Bitcoin. But for somebody to hold 10,000 satoshis, you can easily hold and use it and learn about Bitcoin. Yeah, DJ. And in terms of your experience, you're one of the persons, of course, who's experienced that. Many people also have that kind of experience where they got an opportunity to hold. But of course, because the knowledge is less and it doesn't give you a clear path to understand what is the future of Bitcoin, you don't want to risk it at that time, which is fair because everybody does that. The security of knowing what really Bitcoin is going to do was less, and the more people you meet, then you understand it is more useful and more here to stay. It's it's a little less, of course. In India, people think that yes, Western countries have a lot more Bitcoin. They may not have a lot more Bitcoins, but they do need more Bitcoin users because they do not have features like how Indian banking has better features as a financial system than abroad. People have big banks and abroad, but don't have that easy features like the way I can give you a great example is UPI. So because UPI is a great example in India and abroad people don't have, they kind of suffer that and then they adopt to cryptocurrency a little bit more willingly than Indian people.
Hey, one sec, Vikram, you just mentioned banks abroad and banks in India. You draw a comparison. But
yes.
Banks in India have three-factor authentication, and abroad, if you were to swipe a card electronically, the CVV doesn't come into play. Something like that, right? Meaning it's only two-factor authentication, right? So our banking system would be a little more secure, right? That way.
Security is one part of it. The easiness of spending for instant and for less fee, which is UPI, free and instant. That particular system is the most useful system that we have in India, which is not available abroad. That actually, if you see, one of the reasons why UPI became so popular, that when you're sending small amounts up to 10, 20, 50 rupees, you don't have to pay a fee and it's instant. It's like paying cash. When you take cash in your hand, it's instant. So the settlement is done. That part of settlements being instant is beautiful with UPI. And abroad, you don't have that instant settlement. Usually, they prefer credit cards, and the credit card gives them a settlement after a few days, which is 45 days, is what their limit is. You do not have the liquidity. Liquidity being one of the main things.
Vikram, I have a question.
Go on.
I have a question, Vikram.
Please, go ahead.
As we are on this topic regarding the fast and easy transaction, what do you think about Ripple?
So Ripple is actually completely different to what I believe in. I believe in decentralized systems. Ripple is a centralized system. Means there are a few people who are the CEO and the owner, the coders, who own and control Ethereum. Sorry, your XRP Ripple. So that means if they want, they can stop it at any point of time. It's not in their interest to stop this because it's a lot of value in Ripple, and they also hold a lot of Ripple themselves. So it is completely not in their interest to stop the Ripple, but it is still in their control to stop someone moving their funds Ripple from A to B, because they control the keys to your movement, because they control Ripple. That's one of the reasons why now recently SEC in New York, which is Securities and Exchange Commission, has gone for the Ripple, because they know they can go to one person and then ask him to shut it down or pay a huge fine for running an illegal system that they call it, uh, because it's centralized. So for that reason, I do not promote anything which is centralized. The time when we have a decentralized system itself is a breaking technology, right? That's like one of its kind. That was first of its kind with Bitcoin. And when we have moving away from centralized system to decentralized system, you don't want another centralized coin to be promoting that, right? You want a decentralized coin. So that's why if you see a lot of people who talk about cryptocurrency as like evangelists, and they love crypto, and they only talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and those kind of cryptocurrencies, not Ripple. But Ripple seemed to be one of the most popular one between the traders for whatever reason. Now, also, I think it is still popular because it is fluctuating very wide. It's losing 20% and gaining 20% in value every day. It's because of this SEC news that's come out since 2 3 days. For anyway, in anything in specific that you want to know more about Ripple, please go ahead. But otherwise, that's the base that I was explaining, that it's a centralized system compared to Bitcoin.
No, nothing in specific, because as we were talking on the topic, which was related to fast transfer and easy payment.
Yes.
Ripple has the same tagline. They're working on the same system to make it easy for all around the world.
Very right.
That's the reason I asked you this question.
So Ripple was trying to have this done from their end in a decentralized cryptocurrency. Public together have to come up with a solution to understand how easily we can use this cryptocurrency between us. Like if I explain you some history, 2013 is a use case of Bitcoin being used between Iran and Russia. So the companies in Iran and Russia were sending and receiving Bitcoin for a trade that they were doing. So to do a trade, they have to first understand Bitcoin. Second is, will it be really useful and valuable for them? Will they be able to change the Bitcoin to local fiat? And will straight away with Bitcoin itself, can they acquire whatever they were supposed to? Because if I paid you for your product, then you have to use that money to buy back the product to again continue with your business, right? So will that be useful for them that way? Those kind of things is like an important point. So trading between people with decentralized currency, it takes a little bit of time. But with XRP a little bit quicker, it was with XRP only because it's a centralized system. So the people who are controlling XRP pushed to go get business for their coin, so that their coin can be used as a leverage coin between two banks uh, around the world to do settlements between them. The reason they were pushing that is because they can hire people and fund that with their own coin. It's like an early ICO. It was the first ever initial coin offering that was done in 2011 when nobody knew about ICO. So they became the real masters, and they were managing it really well. The only fork that they had went into called Stellar. They split it into two. Stellar is also another centralized coin. It's a fork of Ripple. So like that, you have a couple of them. One of the things Ripple did was they did hire a lot of people, and they went around. I met them in India. They did come to India also. When I met them, this was back in 13, 14, I think. So they were trying to push remittance around the world, and their coin was going to be supporting the remittance between banks. So what is that they were trying to do is a settlement system. A settlement system is a very important system for the banks globally, because if you see a SWIFT system, it's called, developed by the Americans, of course, the Fed controls that. A SWIFT system is an international settlement system between banks. It's very useful when you have that, their economics and then commerce grows very fast. Because if you know what exactly I'm supposed to pay you or you're supposed to pay me, or between us, what is the value that we should send or receive, and nullify this business. Say, for an example, HSBC is in India also, and in Russia also, and in the US also. A customer who's using HSBC account will travel all these places per se, and then he will do some withdrawal and funding or receiving or spending with this card, and the HSBC will have to settle within themselves at the end of the day. They were using SWIFT system. And the SWIFT system is a very powerful system that was developed by the US, and they hold that at ransom with countries who don't listen to them. So they did that on Russia a long time ago. There was the first ever sanction was on Russia was a SWIFT sanction. That means they were telling Russians that none of your banks will be able to do settlements with our banks abroad or outside Russia. Through the SWIFT system, we will stop the SWIFT system for you. Russia said, for what? Because they're targeting Russia for nothing, right? All the time, most of the times. So the SWIFT system was the last thing they had in their thing book, and they used it. And then Russia went ahead and did something else for themselves, and they started to go around it and then start working around it. But it did, of course, affect Russian banks because they didn't have that system. So that kind of a SWIFT system is given to everybody for free through cryptocurrency. And Ripple is also one of them. So Ripple was trying to use that SWIFT kind of a system that they have inbuilt or that is there already by default in their crypto. They were trying to use that for all the banks. Did they try to work around it? I don't know how much they succeeded. Yeah, so I guess we didn't get a little bit of introduction from you guys also. Meanwhile, Vasim, if you don't have any question, if you want to just explain us what is your background and how you got interested in this, you can. Or any one of you want to jump in, even DJ, let's hear about you also here.
Okay, I must be the guy. I must be the latest rookie actually here because folks on the room seem to be quite knowledgeable. Okay, and my experience has been with equity for the last 10 years. Prior to that, I was in technology, and I was on the computer security side of technology in terms of implementation and operations, not on the development side. I used to, like I mentioned to you during our meeting, I used to work for a bank in South America, which was headquartered in Netherlands. And after that, this was around 2010. I've been in the markets ever since, and I am a trader. I trade equity almost exclusively, and from 2012 onwards, we have been hosting conferences for people to learn about the equity markets in different cities in India and abroad. So that is where our first connect to Coin came in 2016 when we did our first event abroad in Bangkok, where Coin partnered with us.
Yeah.
And that is when my interest was piqued in terms of what is cryptocurrency and things like that. So 2016, it's pretty late, you would say, but like they say, better late than never. And now,
not yet.
Yeah, right. So I'm doing what is known in crypto. I'm just slowly learning the terminology of cryptocurrency. I've become a hodler now. I buy Bitcoin and I equivalent of the buy and hold in equity. So yes. I don't speculate. I just invest in some in Bitcoin and probably do some kind of a sip over time, maybe. Okay, and one more thing is we are planning to introduce cryptocurrency as a topic, as a vertical at our next conference in Goa. So my one drive is to understand what is it that people actually need to know. Meaning, it's a huge, it's an ocean. With cryptocurrency and blockchain itself, it's an ocean. It's not possible for people to eat an elephant at one go. So they say, what is the best way to eat an elephant? It's say one bite at a time kind of thing. I know it's a bad analogy, but then I couldn't find a better one actually. I was thinking, what if we start from the use case of Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin is the most popular coin around. Okay, and how about if we start from the use case side of it rather than the blockchain side of it? Blockchain is basically, it could talk about the financials, the entire revamping of the entire financial system the way we know it. And probably it could be a much more efficient financial system. that would become mainstream compared to what we have currently in terms of banks, in terms of your Swift. You said Swift is a very efficient banking system. Yes, correct. Yeah, because in terms of transferring funds internationally, that is probably the de facto standard today.
Yes.
But could blockchain make it simpler, more efficient, faster, and cheaper? Possibly, yes.
Totally.
Going forward.
Yes.
Right. So, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on this. I only conjecturing here. I'm trying to read up a lot of stuff. I'm talking to people who know much more about cryptocurrency than me, which is probably everybody else other than me. And okay, that's about it. So, please, no, I'm muting myself now.
Good. Great points you mentioned there. One of the things is what should be the real
I can hear you. What I would. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. I'm sorry, I went off. I just joined back again.
The thing is, see, nowadays, Bitcoin has gone up to such an extent where people are attracted. And as you were saying previously, in India, it is not aware. Truly agree. People who are not aware in India, when people will come to know the benefits or the advantages of having such things done on our stage, might be they will open up their minds and eyes and they will start doing it. And on the other hand, see, it's a cryptocurrency. Yeah. And on the other hand, it's a crypto. You never know when it goes up and when it goes down. So it's a good time where things are going okay, things are up, people are making good money. Hopefully, it remains the same. But what I understand is, after a certain period of time, might be the dice will go to someone else. And as you see, Ethereum is on the second, and Ripple is on the third. So things might turn around quickly. You never know. What I've seen in a couple of days, it has been dancing up and down, especially on weekends. It has been down almost. So you never know. People are predicting that it might go $100,000 mark.
Easily.
Let's see what happens. But at the end, it's a cryptocurrency. You never know. We might go with a profit or we might go with loss.
So in terms of the trading point of view, like you said, yes.
So in fact, the forecast for end of 2021 is about $200,000 profit. That is what I've also been reading. And in fact, someone gave a reason, a fundamental reason also in terms of why that is so. So they give a meaning. I read an article from the cryptocurrency exchanges. I think it was Coin BCX.
Okay, what does the article say? Why are they so?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And they gave a nice article, in fact, but I wasn't able to internalize it fully. Probably it needs a couple of reads and some more to understand the concept entirely in its entirety.
True. The basic small thing is
for me to understand the entire thing. Probably is a little challenge.
I found those articles.
Okay. I thought I can share them also.
Yes, you can in the message here.
By Coin BCX.
Hi, this is Rahul.
Hi, Rahul.
I'm interested in owning cryptos and trading them, but somehow I'm not getting clear idea of how to begin them. It seems there are a lot of legal issues in owning cryptos right now, and I'm not very much sure how to trade them. I would be grateful if some light can be thrown on this aspect. Thank you.
Right, Rahul, I'm not an expert, but I can tell you definitely this. Yes. Okay. See, the question that you have asked is being asked by thousands of Indians today. Okay. The main reason was RBI imposed a banking ban. In the sense, they told banks that banking accounts in India by Indians cannot be used to buy or sell or trade any cryptocurrency coin, which included Bitcoin. This was sometime in 2016. Okay, and then subsequently, RBI, there was the Supreme Court ruled in sometime in March 2020 this year that the banking ban imposed by Reserve Bank of India on these banks is illegal and had to be squashed, and it was squashed. So there was never a fact there was never a ruling at any point in time in India that cryptocurrency was illegal. Though Mr. Arun Jaitley said sometime back that cryptocurrency is not legal tender, but it was never officially marked as illegal. So if your question is, can I buy some cryptocurrency and hold it in a wallet securely, safely, and see what happens for the next 20 years or next 2 years or even 1 year? Yes, you can. In fact, I did that about 3 months back when Bitcoin was trading at around $13,000. So today it has touched around $25,000. Unfortunately, like usually happens, Murphy's law comes into play and you don't invest. Your position sizing is not sufficiently large enough to enable you to buy an island in the West Indies or something like that. So I put in a small sum of money only. Okay, so it's legal. Okay, to answer the question, I think Vikram will probably be the best person for this, but this much I am sure of. Whatever I've told you, in terms of the legality of it, in terms of being able to use your Indian bank account, or in my case, I use my credit card. You can use your UPI also in order to buy crypto in India today. You can buy it and hold.
Yes, and InstaCrypto is the best platform if you want to try that out.
Platform from where we can buy or sell.
I was just saying that it's InstaCrypto, you can try that. Rahul, did you get to hear it?
I have not checked out InstaCrypto, but InstaCrypto itself, you can buy crypto using INR, using any fiat, including Indian fiat, meaning rupees, and buy and hold crypto.
Yes.
And probably, sell it plastic value in 1 year's time or whatever.
True that. Try it right with InstaCrypto. The app is available on Play Store. It's very simple. We made it easy for you to buy, like how you would buy a T-shirt online. So yeah, otherwise, in terms of legality, if I may explain.
Yeah, you are audible, but the voice is a little faint, was it?
I am really sorry, my mic was on mute, yes. So yeah, InstaCrypto is a place for you to try it out, Rahul. Okay, so I think DJ, I think your mic is giving out a lot of surrounding sound. Thank you. So yes, Rahul, one of the best places, of course, today that we've built is InstaCrypto. It makes it very easy for people to buy and explore and try cryptocurrency for a small amount. At InstaCrypto, you can buy for as low as 50 rupees. And also, like with Bitcoin Cash, you can even buy for even 10 rupees to explore how quickly and easily and swiftly you'll be able to buy. To the point that what DJ was explaining it to you about the legalities, there was one thing that we've all been missing, as in everybody who writes about cryptocurrency also misses that in 2014, Indian government came out to say about cryptocurrency, they said wait and watch policy. And that wait and watch policy is still continuing till today. Very clearly, if the government is saying wait and watch policy, means they would like people to try it. I'm not asking people to go ahead and put all your money or all your wealth, sell your property and put it on Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, not that. A small amount to try it out. It's a new thing to try. Internet is something like that. When internet came into India, we didn't have to put in money to try that. It was a network. Similarly, cryptocurrency is also a network, but here to participate in it, you may have to buy a part of it to hold it. It's just like gold. If you don't hold it and buy it and hold it, you will never know how good the product is. It's similarly. And when Indian government has said wait and watch, that they would like people to try it out, and then eventually with time they will come up with the right regulation. Everybody in the world is trying to do that, and they're coming up with regulation. Nobody is very 100% right about their regulation yet, but it's a pursuit towards getting the best regulation out there. For that, people should be using it. If you didn't use it, how would the government understand how to regulate it? To that example, there was my meeting in Australia about a year ago, and then when I met this exchange guy, he told me after I came back from Australia that he told me that he's been by the government, by the Australian government, not just him, all other exchange owners, and the government is talking to them to understand how they should come up with regulation. That's a very good way to do it because the best people to talk to is the ones who are running an exchange because they can give a little bit more insights to it. Similarly, if people in India use it, hold it, use it, and understand it, model it, whatever that you want to explore with it, it's a great tool to understand about its technology because a lot of things will be built on blockchain in the future. So if you don't hold it, you don't learn about it. So those things will eventually help us as a government or regulators to regulate it. So let's talk about that wait and watch policy and believe in it and then go ahead and not fear the unknown. And then see, you only fear when you're doing it in an amount which is under the radar of AML, right? Anything up to 50,000 rupees when you go and deposit in your bank account, there's no questions asked. Anything more than that, of course, you have to show your PAN card. So if they've made something up to 50,000 legal for you to go around with that cash to play about, because cash is still king in India. So similarly, with a small amount of cryptocurrency, it's not going to be hurting anyone, but it's actually going to increase the adoption, increase the knowledge base. And when you have it yourself, you will definitely talk about it to your friends, family. That's what we want. We want people of India to understand this technology and eventually use it to be a global person. Because, like internet, you don't want it to be delayed to get into India.
Vikram, thanks for that. Singapore has already regulated cryptocurrencies, right?
True, true. They have certain parts of it has been regulated. Like I think they regulated the exchanges most. So there is no real law that I've read about which for individuals. If you have heard about it, please share that. But not.
No, I was talking to one of our speakers who is based out of Singapore. He's a fund manager. He's in equity,
Okay.
and he talks about cryptocurrencies. Okay, and how close are we to regulation to India? Is the Indian government even looking at regulating cryptocurrency in the first place? And if yes,
Yes, yes. I think they are looking at it to regulate it. It's been happening since a long time. They are looking into it, but the subject is not easy. The subject of cryptocurrency is not the easiest of all compared to anything else in this world. I would say it needs its time. Only with time people learn about cryptocurrency. Without time, you cannot learn about it in just one day or 1 month because it's not about the material that you read about it. It's the time that teaches you a lot of things with crypto. With time, how it reacts and how it acts and how it holds its value and how it fluctuates, how it eventually grows with time is what is important. So we have to wait for that because, again, like I said, it's the time factor, and the longer the time, the better your understanding is. So because of that, it may take some time, but eventually we will have some regulation, and also maybe the other countries will help us understand that how they're regulating it, how it's going to react after regulation can be like a learning curve for Indian regulators.
yeah, because even after regulation, we are not sure if some scam like Satyam scam where stock fell about 80% in a single day because of the founders, the Price Waterhouse auditing scam that happened. Price Waterhouse, right?
Yeah, PwC, Price Waterhouse Cooper.
PwC.
Yeah. And those kind of people are, if you see, they are again centralized. When you are centralizing the audit system for it, it can go haywire, it can go bad. They can even take money from you and then say on your side, and which may not be the right side. So those kind of things can happen with the centralized system. That's one of the beauties of Bitcoin and crypto. It's a decentralized system. And amongst the markets that's available, when you said about certain shares, they are not in a real free world market or the free market system like the way cryptocurrency has. Crypto has got better free market than any other in terms of trading or in terms of its movement. So the more freer you are, the better it is for the mankind. So I'm hoping that crypto will teach everybody a lesson to say that eventually you should go on the blockchain to make it more, public or even make it more decentralized.
Right. So you were muted when Rahul was asking the question.
I think
yes. Hear his question. Let me just repeat it quickly. He said he would like to know about, one, the legality of it, two, where you can reliably buy crypto and things like that. So I felt you would be the right person to address that.
True that. So the reliability, you will be able to buy it on InstaCrypto. It's a very simple place for somebody who are not like traders or not experienced as traders can easily buy on InstaCrypto. The only
Sorry, what? Can you just also talk a little on the ease of the KYC process for crypto? Meaning when you have to buy crypto from InstaCrypto.
So on InstaCrypto, we had KYC limited to only after 10K, but we dropped it to 1K now is because our UPI system that was giving us more information about the buyer is restricted now. Because of that, we've put in to try out without KYC, you can do it up to 1,000 rupees worth of Bitcoin you can buy. No KYC required because you still making a transaction through bank and bank, and it's not like within Indian banks, so we still capture a little bit of info. Otherwise, yes, a simple KYC and an effective KYC system is available. You have to provide the latest document and hold the document with yourself and then get a selfie for us. And that will help you, get on to easy of buying anything more than 1,000 rupees worth of Bitcoin. Right now, the limits are at 10K, but there is actually no limits because you can do multiple buys of 10K also. One of them is, first one is successful, or you don't want to keep any pending and then you continue to buy. The system of InstaCrypto is to expand the use of cryptocurrency. Right now, like we were talking about, what this question was to buy into it, that you can do that on InstaCrypto. InstaCrypto also allows you to do use case of cryptocurrency. That means if you were going to be paying a small amount of your crypto to your brother for him to see how it is, all you have to do is ask him to get a wallet and take his address and straight away put that address on InstaCrypto and you make a purchase of say 1,000 rupees. That particular address that you fed in will straight away get 1,000 rupees worth of cryptocurrency. You don't need two steps. Two steps means twice you're paying fees. That has been taken away, so that it's easier to use. In terms of the other point that he had was, I'm sorry, I forgot. If you can just repeat that question, please. Or even Rahul, right? Rahul, you asked the question. If you want to go ahead and shoot the question again.
Yeah, my first question was the legality part. I think DJ has explained quite well, and I understand that the wait and watch policy was there. So I was not aware of that before. Secondly, my point was of a place from where reliably I can buy and sell.
I got it now. So the reliability is another part of it, which you asked, of course. So in InstaCrypto, the way we do it, because we see that other exchanges are mostly manned by people and targeted by hackers, a lot of hacking has been happening internally, externally. You can name it, and all kind of examples have been out there. So with InstaCrypto, we ask you to get your own wallet, right? Now, because in an exchange, the funds are kept centrally, it attracts more hackers towards an exchange, but not as an individual. So as an individual, when you are trying to buy some crypto, it's best for you to get your own wallet. That is one step that is different in InstaCrypto, where we promote people to go and get their own non-custodial wallet. We even help people to get a suitable wallet for themselves. It's there in each page of the coin. Below that, a wallet section will help you understand why we promote a non-custodial wallet, so that you hold your funds. The more you hold your funds, the more you learn from it, the more you get confident about it. Uh, and it's totally more secure because it's up to you now. You are managing your own funds. So that kind of a system is more powerful, more useful, but it doesn't have as much traction right now because everything is new. So we are trying to put in as much information as possible for you on that platform so that you can read a little bit about it and get more knowledge and get a little bit of confidence to get your own wallet. So InstaCrypto is available on Play Store. You can download and you can use it.
Vikram, I got your point. Now, if you're saying non-custodial wallet, it means a combination of private keys and public keys also for that wallet to be held securely by that individual, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So you would probably circulate some SOPs in place for people to be able to do that comfortably. Meaning, you would probably even educate people as to how they can hold their private key securely and not share it with anybody. Public keys, probably they can share it with people they want. Right?
If you open InstaCrypto's app, under each coin there are some information base there. We put in get started for you to understand the basics of that particular coin, and of course basics of cryptocurrency. Then there is a section of wallet where it will prompt you to see what are the non-custodial popular wallets out there and how to use it. Is a small paragraph of writing. It has covered most of it for you to understand and get a wallet and secure your wallet. It's just written there, and then you can just read and understand that. Any more questions on that? We still have support system where you can ask us and we can help you with that. That is something is a priority with InstaCrypto to help people understand and use this. A trader per se can straight away get into an exchange trading platform and hold the crypto in the trading platform's wallet is because he's a trader and he has to give custody of his crypto to the exchange, otherwise he will not be freely able to trade. For that reason, they are already secured. In a way, they want to trade, of course, so they have to give, which is all done by the exchange. So with InstaCrypto, we are trying to get on board those people who are not a trader. Because there are many people. I was not a trader myself. I'm only learning about it now because of cryptocurrency. But because there are a lot of people like me, we've built InstaCrypto and get people to learn, buy, use cryptocurrency at a different level.
Vikram, let's say I buy $1,000 worth of crypto, some coin, let's say Bitcoin. Can I stake it under the InstaCrypto platform? Or is it just a safe deposit box kind of concept here?
So when it becomes a staking or a safe deposit, then eventually InstaCrypto will have to hold your cryptocurrency, right? So that feature we will not giving only because there are other exchanges that are already giving you those kind of features. And since they are already doing something, we didn't want to repeat the same process again. You can do the similar things with them. Staking is available on DeFi systems with Ethereum today. And the DeFi system for Bitcoin Cash is also coming up soon, where you are able to hold your funds on the blockchain and nobody in between is actually holding it for you. In InstaCrypto, if you hold it, then the exchange as InstaCrypto will have to hold it for you. Somebody in our exchange has to become responsible for that crypto, which we didn't want it because already a lot of trade platforms like Ucoin, Coin26, they're already doing it. They're holding your crypto, so it's leave it to those experts who are already doing it and bring this a new system for you to explore. But with the DeFi systems, I love those DeFi systems because then you put it on the basis of a smart contract and small features. There are many small features like this that been built. I can give you an example of one, which is by Bitcoin.com wallet. So in a Bitcoin.com wallet, they have made this particular DeFi kind of a thing. Use that particular thing to send crypto to somebody who doesn't have a wallet or who don't show you their QR, whose address you don't know. So what it does is you send a transaction of Bitcoin Cash from A to B. A is you. You just send it to B, but you do not know who B is, his address, but you only have his contact number, or his phone number. You have him on your WhatsApp. Maybe you didn't even have his phone number. You have him on Facebook as a Facebook friend without even a contact. So when you do the transaction of sending that Bitcoin Cash out of blockchain.com wallet, it gives you a link, and that link you just have to share it with your friend on Facebook or any platform. As soon as he receives the link will uncode and give him his Bitcoin to his wallet. If he has a wallet, Otherwise, it will prompt him to open a wallet of Bitcoin.com, and as soon as he downloads the wallet of Bitcoin.com, it will give him the Bitcoin Cash instantly in his wallet. How did that happen? That happened on a DeFi system. That means the guy who's sending A actually made a double fee transaction. So because there was a two fee transaction, one of the fee was to send his coin from his wallet to the blockchain as a decentralized finance uh, step to hold that coin there. And as soon as that guy clicked on the link and took that link to internet, that particular address made the other fee that I had already paid for, made the second fee, and then from that address, blockchain address, it went to his wallet address, understanding that wherever he opened that link has a wallet, and that wallet's address was automatically linked to it, and it received in that. So that's one small example, but like that, there are many things being built. Some of them very useful, some of them a little complicated to understand and use. But yeah, like staking and compounding, your loaning out, and all that is happening on Ethereum quite widely now. Ethereum is getting really popular because of those DeFi systems.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So yeah, that's it's like the wave of blockchain. It never ends, because if I remember right, when I started talking about blockchain a long time ago, there was very limited explanation we could give about how secure Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was, how distributed it was to make sure the distributed ledger secures everybody's data. And then if you have compared to a centralized, where centrally, if somebody changed that, you wouldn't know, and they are the ones who are controlling it. And it is also vulnerable to hacking. But in a distributed data, everybody gets a copy of it, and there is really no hacking. Who's going to hack who? Because everybody gets one already. And if you do a manipulation of the number of coins in your system, the blockchain completely understands that you're the 0.0001% of the person who's trying to be different, whose balance says 500 bitcoins, but otherwise everybody else's computer says you only have 5 bitcoins. So it automatically rejects you, and then he takes you off the system and then continues to work. Those kind of beauties are with blockchain only. So one of those things which Satoshi did, I always admire him, the way he knew the knowledge of coding, building this whole protocol, and also knew economics and finance so well that he made a lot of remarks about it. To start with, in the Genesis block, the first ever block of Bitcoin, has the message of the newspaper that was printed in London on that day, 3rd Jan 2009, and it said the mayor was going to bail out the banks again. So that very particular thing is the trigger for why Bitcoin is popular today, because the banks are being very corrupt in a way that they take in a lot of funds to secure their continuous business, even though they do not making profit out of their business. So they are keeping they're putting government at gunpoint. You would say to say that they are too big to fail. If they fail, they're going to take down the economy along with them, because people are not able to move funds. Without a banking structure, it's very, very hard for commerce to move around, right? So they were using that to their advantage and then just doing whatever they want. Now there is an alternative. We're going to put them in check. That's only possible with Bitcoin blockchain. I would say more of a blockchain.
Vikram, I have to jump off. 6 o'clock, I've got a call. Two things I wanted to say. One is, if you've read, have you read Atlas Shrugged?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. If you've read that, it's a beautiful novel, actually. There's a character called John Galt. Okay, so Satoshi sort of resembles John Galt in that, the character in that book. Okay, that is one.
Tell me about the book again.
Wasim's voice was a little faint for me at times, and ours was clear. So I had a call with a startup for 1 hour sitting in Goa on data, not Wi-Fi, last week. And that 1 hour call was beautiful, meaning the voice quality throughout was very, very consistent.
Okay.
Nobody's call or voice dropped. You can probably try that out. I know this is on Google and it's much more easily accessible. That was called Blue Jeans. You can probably try it out. The voice quality is extremely good.
Blue Jeans, did you say?
Yeah, Blue Jeans. You can probably check it out. There's a one-time install for that app.
Okay.
On anybody's iOS or Android phones. So we could do that.
Amazing. We'll try it out next time. Thanks for that info.
Thanks for the information, Vikram.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah. It was nice to have you here, DJ. We'll catch up soon.
Yeah. Thanks, Wasim. Thanks, Rahul. So we'll stay in touch then. Thank you.
Take care.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah. So I guess it's just us now, which is Rahul and Mandar and me. Mandar, I think your voice, the mic is off, so I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
So basically, my inclination in bitcoins and basically cryptocurrency and blockchain is basically from the tech side. So so just I want to understand how much in India, what is the scenario of tech development in Bitcoin? Because even my when I interact with some of my friends who have wanted to proper software development and coding, they even don't have much of a. I mean, they are few of them, they don't talk at all about it, or they have no idea about it. So I mean, I'm not entirely from the tech industry. So when I started going through coding and everything, so there is no one to actually discuss about it. So only things are available for me are YouTube and other online resources only. So it's and there are not enough update on even social media or something about is the latest development or actively someone is looking into it in blockchain or something. That is what I wanted to know about.
True that actually the information is very distorted on the internet nowadays. You don't find exactly what you want because there's too much unwanted stuff out there. It is hard to sift through them and then find your right information. For that reason, if you want to join the next meetup like this, similarly on a video call, we will have much tech guys. I have my own tech guy who's very good at it. It's just that he's on holiday with his parents now. So he's in a place where he cannot get good connection. So I didn't ask him to come online because it would be hard for him. And he's on a holiday mood, so let him continue with that. So the next time he will be here, we'll probably be able to answer you a little bit more, in clarity for that points. But yeah, otherwise, the tech part of it is very interesting. Like you said, you asked about one of the specific questions about India. Maybe not for Bitcoin blockchain development. In terms of Bitcoin blockchain, it is open source, so you can build your own set of codes for it to build a better wallet, any kind of new system that can go as an addition to the wallets existing. You can build anything you want as an open source project and publish it out there in GitHub and places. People love it. If they really love it so much, they will add to the original codes. That way, there's no problem to go from here. But yes, in terms of Ethereum, a lot of Indians are sitting and coding, and they're very excited about Ethereum. How I know about this is because I attended a few conferences, and the Ethereum crowd is the biggest right now. And these are all developer crowds, and a lot of coins also been launched by Indians. Matic is one of them, I would say. So that interest of coding and developing is there. I've known some people in person. Unlucky today that none of the coders came. Otherwise, usually you would have one of the coders also joining us, and then they would have given some insights from them. But definitely, the next call we will have some more information for you.
Sure, definitely.
So on the YouTube, I think I have a question where I'd like to take that. Kirti Vasan is the person who's asking me this question. He says about what do you think about the intrinsic value of Bitcoin? And have you guys have anything to say about that? I will give you guys a chance. Otherwise, I'll just talk about it a little bit. Rahul, if you want to say anything on that, you can also give your input. But otherwise, the intrinsic value of Bitcoin is much higher than what a lot of people think. So in intrinsic value, I have I would say, not very high knowledge on that, but I can compare it to the gold. A lot of people say gold has better intrinsic value than the fiat currency, because if you do not have the use of the exchange with paper, in gold, what happens is the intrinsic value of gold makes it better than exchange of value. If you don't want to give or somebody don't want to take, and if you still left with a gold, what can you do? The intrinsic value of gold is that you can make ornaments out of it and then wear it. That itself is a lot of value, and otherwise you'll be buying it here, you have it already because of its intrinsic. So also the another reason is that it can be used in many places like space and all that, or in nano circuits where gold is the preferred metal choice for having your circuits built on it. So that is its intrinsic value. That is it's high in its intrinsic value. If you compare to the fiat. Now, when you take Bitcoin to it, in Bitcoin, its intrinsic value is even more higher, I would say. For me, it is much higher, is because if you hold Bitcoin, you learn a lot of knowledge on it. Then you understand how the blockchain works, and eventually that blockchain part of it itself is the intrinsic value of Bitcoin. If you uh, the time stamping part of it and those kind of things also is high in itself. So those kind of things all add up together as a high intrinsic value for Bitcoin. I don't know about that debate. If somebody else was there who could have debated that with me, probably then we could have got a little bit more answer out of it. But anyway, that was that about the intrinsic value. So if you are listening to it, Kirti, right? Yeah, Kirti Vasan. If you have anything more to say on that or anything more specific you want to ask, please write your message and we can cover that. So Rahul, we didn't get your introduction. I think we don't know where you're from. If you want to talk about that part of it.
I'm from Bombay, and mostly I'm into trading. So, thing that got interested in me this session was how to trade cryptocurrency. And mostly when I'm looking for a platform that allows me flexibility for trading, I'm looking for an API, So
Okay.
that
Okay. So there are many exchanges who give out API.
pardon me, I couldn't get you.
So there are many exchanges which gives out API. Depends on what you wanted for, as in the graph of their trades that's going on, or the latest price, or even in terms of if you are able to execute it from their API. I think there are different levels of API being available from exchanges. You can try.
Yeah, correctly. Once any platform gives an API, we can modify it using languages like Python and all. So once somebody provides an API, it becomes very useful from a trading perspective, because at that point of time, we can trade whatever I want.
Yeah. I think it's got many features with crypto is different to your existing trade. Is the less fees, instant settlements, 24/7 open market. Those are like very good advantages to crypto when you switch from regular trade to crypto trade.
Yes, obviously.
So as I just recently read about an article from Changely and how they had mentioned it as differences, but those differences are like so positive for crypto. Is It's a new set of markets out there, like how internet changed the market scenario for everybody to make it bigger and global, and that kind of a feature is available on crypto. For trading, yes, I think you can even do global trading with crypto easily from any part of the world. May not be crypto to fiat, but crypto to crypto, of course.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're putting in serious money here, the one factor that determines your thought process is reliability.
Your reliability is already there. That's what you learn with time with cryptocurrency. What is the reliability that you doubt about it?
See, reliability in terms of things. The one thing is that you explained. The second thing is from the point of perspective of the, say, if someone is providing us API. So
I'm sorry.
how good?
It was not very clear. I couldn't hear your the reliability points that you said. Point 1 and 2.
Yeah, the point one that you explained was to the public and the private key. That is definitely a very good point. The second comes from the trading perspective is, like from the API part that the platform is providing.
Okay. So
And then there's the time lag, time lag between the actual price movement and the same that is being conveyed to you.
sure. So a lot of people say that crypto trading is not their thing just because of a lot of fluctuation. But I think the fluctuation is the thing what brings a lot of traders in. If it didn't fluctuate as much, a lot of traders wouldn't be interested.
Fluctuation is very good for traders. We love fluctuation.
Totally. But then I guess that particular fluctuation part, people said it is not good for payments and settlements. But that is debatable because if you are using crypto to settle between A to B, it's instant. At that instant movement, the price doesn't change. So it actually didn't change. And how do you secure that the same price? Say if it is a user who's put out Bitcoin as an acceptance for a product that he sold worth 1,000 rupees. When he receives his crypto, he wants his 1,000 rupees because he has to replenish his product and pull his profit out of it. If he depended on Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency for that matter, the fluctuation kills him because if he doesn't understand and don't want to take that fluctuation risk, he can easily use an exchange like InstaCrypto. He receives his 1,000 rupees worth of cryptocurrency. He doesn't receive it himself. InstaCrypto will receive it on his behalf. He will be a member of InstaCrypto, and he gets his 1,000 rupees no matter what because instantly we will change it for him. So the price didn't move and price didn't change. So it's a very good accepting currency also for a lot of people. It's just that it's in the nascent stage. A lot of people still don't want to get into it. But as a merchant, if you understand cryptocurrency, you can even store it in cryptocurrency certain value for yourself. Like how Richard Branson did it. He sold his space trips for Bitcoin, and he actually didn't change it to fiat. He kept it in Bitcoin. Lucky him, since he kept it in Bitcoin. Short term, he may have seen some drop, but in long term, he has seen a lot of up. So that way, if you believe in it eventually as a payments and hold a certain part of it yourself, you may profit from it and increase your asset value of your company also.
Vikram, if you see the Indian equity market, that has been transformed by the entry of Zero.
Entry of?
That has been transformed by the entry of Zerodha.
Tell me about it. What kind of transformation it had with Zerodha? Tell me.
For just example, you can pull out any statistics. What was the percentage of Indians trading before Zerodha came, and what is the percentage of Indians that are trading after Zerodha launched itself as a platform? Even if you consider the tutorials, the tutorials at this point of time are among the best resources available for learning trading, and the kind of constant innovation they are having every month, every month they are introducing a new thing.
Okay.
And the kind of flexibility they are providing. Nowadays, even if they charge 20 rupees extra for a buy or sell order, people who are hooked to Zerodha, they are not going to leave that platform because of the flexibility they are providing. And especially, the game changer for them has been the introduction of APIs.
Okay, of course.
And secondly, the execution speed, the trade speed, the execution speed, very high speed they are providing. If you compare them with any, standard brokers, now all brokers are running after and modeling themselves after Zerodha. Even Kotak Mahindra Bank, even they are modeling themselves about their platform somewhere on the lines of Zerodha. Everybody has it has been a game changer. They have forced people to make changes in their business platforms. So I hope you are able to do something like that.
No, totally. I think it's just a matter of time with cryptocurrency being more and more popular. I don't think even 1% is adopted to cryptocurrency yet. And even with 10% of people having cryptocurrency, you will have some 100x in crypto's price and the interest. And with that, there will be much more developers who will come in and develop and build products like the
Actually,
Zora.
the internet penetration and the speed with which it is growing it is definitely in favor of the crypto. It's just a matter of time, probably a couple of years down the line, but it's going to pick up. That's for sure.
Very right. Very right.
So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, if you see, internet was pretty late in India, but still we are mastering it in that way because of the sheer number of people that we have. And the more the network effect, the more network effect is in India than any other place, I would say, for the internet. Even though not everybody is on it, eventually when with time, when internet gets like fully adopted, crypto will be like nobody's business in India will be adopted into it. So I think we'll just wait and watch and continue with that wait and watch policy. Sorry, it was really nice talking to you guys. You have any more questions, the last minute questions you want to jump in? Go ahead. I think we have about 5 minutes more, 4.5 minutes more. I think, Mandar, if you wanted to say something, I cannot hear you.
I'm just happy that I attend this meetup because there was nobody to, to discuss or talk about crypto and blockchain.
You're right, totally. Even if somebody is there to talk about it, it's not easy to come out with all the topics from your mind. When you have more people joining you, it kind of gives you their perspective also and helps you understand better.
Right. So I believe that of course, I'm looking up to like joining other meetups as next meetups as well. Whenever there will be meetups.
Surely, we should do this. Yeah, more often. And I think the topic that you raised in terms of your this one, understanding. The more the meetups, the more people come in with their side of not understanding crypto, and they come up with those questions. It just helps everybody learn about it. It's totally win-win situation. I've been doing this meetup from a long time, helping myself and everybody to understand.
So when we started our discussion, when you talk about block and Uproof, it was first time I was hearing that because the information was nowhere. I mean, not much of information available, even online. I mean, they are not when you take some, say, just online tutorials, they just talk about what is blockchain, what is crypto, but they don't talk about what till date what have people have doing on that and how they are using it, basically to develop some of their own application or something.
Very right. I think before it was much more easily available on the internet than today. And today's internet has become too distorted with a lot of other unnecessary news on crypto that you waste your time and not get the right information. You gotta meet people like this. Yes, it's helped me. I'll tell you why I did this. Is the first few years of my crypto learning, I was doing it alone on the internet. 2 years, that is, from 2009 end till about 11. So eventually I understood enough that I bought into it. Once I bought into it, then my plan was already set about travel. So I traveled for about 15 countries, and I realized not even one person I met in that 4 years I could talk about crypto. So it frustrated me a little bit, thinking that is this really happening, or am I the only one blabbering about it? So eventually I met a person who was running a meetup in Bangalore, and Bangalore being my hometown, I loved it. I said, okay, this is the place I should come back to again now and then continue. And since then, I've never stopped. Every weekend used to have meetups. And I've kind of met people from all walks of life who like Bitcoin. And that's one of the ideas of how we started my exchange first, because everybody used to come to the meetup and tell me that, how can we buy Bitcoin? So we realized that that is one step that we have to take, and we start an exchange first hand. And then we did that by end of 13. And then from there, we never looked back, because at least every time when people come in the meetup and ask where to buy, we can point them towards the right direction. And there was one big eye opener I had. I'm sure Rahul is also listening to it. I went to Bombay to do meetups, and once in a month we used to do meetups in Bombay and in Jaipur and in Delhi. All that I did. So in Bombay, I got a experience of how trading is so aggressive there, and people had questions and information they wanted to know was everything around trading in Bombay. And I never heard that much from anyone else. In Bangalore and Jaipur, when I was to do meetups at that time, mostly technology related questions would be coming up, and people would want to know what is happening, how is this happening. And suddenly in Bombay, the trading part of it just blew my mind. But of course, it was a learning curve for me also, and I learned a lot of it from there. Thanks to the Bombay
Yeah,
class.
it depends on which locality you are. If you are in Bangalore, it's a technical capital. People are interested in the technology side. If you're in Bombay, people are interested in money also, how you can make money out of trading. So it's perfectly understandable.
Totally, totally. Money is the key word that you said because I did meet one girl there and she was part of the trading platform from Bombay. And for her to understand cryptocurrency was so different and you could just go ahead and trade without any questions asked, without any SEC kind of a system like what we have in India that didn't come in that space. And having open markets, having free markets, having 24 bar 7, instant settlement, instant small fee, and you can transfer and you can do crypto to crypto anywhere in the world after you do one of crypto to fiat was a mind blowing thing for her. And when I saw that this is the kind of thing that she's like feeling, even I felt it that way. Then I thought, okay, so a lot of these traders are so indulged here in the existing market, and they suddenly see crypto as like a thing without any leash on it. So it was one of those things. It was actually, helped me understand a lot of things. So great
No,
stuff.
what happens is if you're giving somebody 24 cross 7 market access, that is something which is every trader's dream.
Totally right, totally. Because it's about your time. You want to settle in whenever you want to. And then you want to sit and trade, maybe in the night, maybe in the day. Yeah. So if you have 24 by 7, suits every walk, every person there. Cool. It was really good. Really great conversation again. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Mandar. Thank you, Rahul.
It's a pleasure talking to you, Mitra.
Same.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. I will leave here. If you guys want me to leave a link to InstaCrypto, I can leave that. Hi, Krishna. Did you just happen to join? I'm really sorry. You were just about to call off the meetup. Uh, but since you just joined at the nick of the hour, if you have any questions, just jump in. Otherwise, we will connect again next week, next meetup. Hi, Krishna. Your mic is on mute. If you're trying to say something, you may have to unmute your mic. Anyway, I guess he's fine with that. We can connect again. Thanks a lot, guys. See you, Mandar. Thanks a lot, guys, on Facebook also. It was really nice. Wish we had some more questions. Anytime you guys want to join, similarly, you'll be able to see a link and then you can just join and post your question. You can answer that. Yes, so we are on Facebook too. And like I was just saying, that my name is Vikram. I'm one of the first exchange, entrepreneur